Welcome to Tax File. I am your host, Laure Bala Hassan, and today's episode is packed with valuable insights. We kick off with the latest tax news, bringing you up to date on important developments. Then, in our Did You Know segment, we uncover interesting tax facts. We'll also hear from you in our Vox Pop segment, exploring public opinion on key tax matters. In the Knowledge Zone, we'll take a closer look at those views and break them down in details. Next, our Professional Insight segment features expert analysis to help you navigate tax complexities. And finally, on What's on the Net, we'll respond to your questions and comments from our social media handles. Get ready for an enlightening discussion. Let's dive in. And now, the news. The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has issued a strong directive mandating strict compliance with withholding tax regulations on interest earned from short-term securities. The new order warns of penalties for non-compliance. Our correspondent Evelyn Shija has the report.
The directive, signed by FIRS Chairman Zak Adedeji, is addressed to banks, discount houses, stockbrokers, corporate bond issuers, primary dealer market makers, financial institutions, government agencies, tax practitioners, and the general public. The circular reinforces provisions of the Companies Income Tax Act and the 2024 Withholding Tax Regulations, making it clear that tax must be deducted at source from all interest payments on short-term investments and remitted to the FIRS no later than the 21st day of the following month. The agency explains that taxpayers from whom deductions are made will receive a tax credit except where tax is deemed final. Importantly, interest on federal government bonds remain exempt as part of existing tax incentives to promote sovereign debt instruments. Covered under the directive are treasury bills, corporate bonds, promissory notes, and other short-term securities. The FIRS insists that the move is to boost revenue collection, improve compliance, and strengthen Nigeria's fiscal framework.
The National Identity Management Commission has marked the 2025 National Day of Identity with a high-level event that brought together policymakers, stakeholders, and advocates. At the gathering, speakers stressed the importance of a robust identity system in shaping Nigeria's tax future. Ejura Etu Okmanachi has the reports.
It was a convergence of government officials, development partners, and identity advocates at the 2025 National Day of Identity, organized by the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC. Delivering the goodwill message at the event, Dr. Zak Adedeji emphasized that identity goes beyond just number. According to him, a secure and trusted identity system is central to accessing essential services, promoting inclusion, and ensuring equality for all Nigerians. Identity is more than a number. It is a tool for empowerment, equality, and national progress, he said. He further called for collective commitment to strengthening Nigeria's identity ecosystem, particularly in the digital age, noting that a trusted identity framework will drive development and safeguard the nation's digital future. The National Day of Identity, observed annually, serves as a platform to highlight progress made in Nigeria's identity management system and renew commitments to building a more inclusive and secure society. The event underscores the federal government's push to integrate digital identity into governance and service delivery. Stakeholders say, with sustained reforms, Nigeria's identity system could unlock greater opportunities for economic growth and social development.
The Nigeria Customs Service and the Federal Inland Revenue Service have reaffirmed their partnership to deliver the National Single Window Project, a flagship initiative of the federal government expected to revolutionize trade processes in Nigeria. Aisha Abdulkader reports.
At the customs headquarters in Abuja, top officials of the Nigerian Customs Service and the Federal Inland Revenue Service met to review progress on the National Single Window implementation. The project, launched by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in April 2024, is designed to simplify trade, improve transparency, and strengthen revenue collection. Present at the high-level meeting were Controller General of Custom Adewale Adeniyi and the Director of the National Single Window, Tola Fakolade.
It's not so much about whether it will be done or not. It has to be done. We are already working on a timeline, and now we have a clearer timeline that by Q1 2026, we need to get National Single Window up and running. So we have less than 4 or 5 months to talk over and agree on whatever sticky issues that might remain in our march towards national security. We all travel to different countries of the world, apart from the so-called big economies. We've been to some smaller economies within Africa, and we have seen them implement national single, different variants of it. So it becomes, therefore, a challenge that we must rise on to. So there will be a lot of processes that will build. There will be the need for institutional cooperation and collaboration. There will be some kind of compromises that has to be made. There will be some sacrifices that will be undertaken to make us get into the good start.
History has been laid by CG. The first question, because this will be the first time, because I know this is the question that CG will have been trying to answer to our colleagues here present. Why is the Federal Inland Revenue Service running national single window? So it is better to boost certain perspective into this. The project, as it were, was not Federal Inland Revenue Service project. If you all recall, I was special advisor to the President of Revenue before moving to Federal Inland Revenue Service. So as a special advisor to the President of Revenue, understanding what non-tax revenue can be or contribute to the country. So Mr. President in his own discovered that our trade facilitation platform is one of the sources of revenue that is non-tax related that we can use to run the administration or develop infrastructure at lower source. And we see national single window as one of those things that relates to it. And one of the problems that we've had in the past is interagency rivalry relating to these wonderful operations. So that is where, as it were, then Mr. President decided that he would be the one to lead it himself to the presidency. And as a special advisor on the President on Revenue, it falls under my point. So that is why we have to drive it from there.
The FIRS boss expressed satisfaction with the pace of work, commending Customs for hosting the core implementation team. Officials confirmed that board stakeholders engagement sessions will hold across the 4 zones of the country in October, while bi-weekly technical meetings continue to tackle operational challenges. Controller General Adeniyi pledged Customs full support, stressing the service's commitment to creating a seamless trade ecosystem.
Something about NAFDAC, like you are in England, you wanted to ship medicaments to Nigeria. So you go to that trade hall, and when you are in trade hall, anytime you need to do something about NAFDAC, it directs you to NAFDAC. Anytime you needed to do something about customs, it directs you to customs. But that is when you want to make an active submission of the document.
Yes.
All these other, data that you need at the back end were done by the agencies that were involved.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that if it's about time saving, if it is to save time and to avoid duplication, I was thinking that to God be the glory, we have already achieved electronic transmission over the years. So this comes here, it is registered here, and then whatever is registered with the rotation number goes to you. The rotation numbers gives it a unique identity when it comes into your system.
As well, we're actually going to the development of the platform itself, as well as integration with all the different platforms. So we're at the major key milestone that was going to lead us to keep us on track with Q1 2026 target. So that's why we're here today, sirs, just to lay down some of the support we need now to be able to stay on course and deliver on this.
When fully operational, the National Single Window is expected to cut down cargo clearance times, reduce trade costs, curb leakages, and position Nigeria as a stronger competitor in global trade. With the renewed partnership between customs and the FIRS stakeholders, say Nigeria is firmly on course to meet the 2026 target for the single window rollout.
And that wraps up our news segment. Let's join Mariam on the Vox Pop segment.
Hello and welcome to the segment where we seek to find out what people know about important tax issues. My name is Mariam Julde Adura. Today, we've hit the streets to find out what people know about the tax identification number. What is tax identification number?
Tax ID is a unique identifier issued to individuals and businesses for tax purposes. For individuals, they are being generated, the tax ID is being generated automatically linked to their BVN, that's bank verification number, or their name, that is national identification number.
Tax identification number is a 13th unique number for individual and for corporate purposes. It's an identifier for tax purposes. So you use it in the payment of your taxes, and when it's generated, you have the expiry date, where it's coming from. Is it an individual? If it's an individual, that is the use of name. If it's company income tax, that's corporate. So you use the CAC. So it's used for tax identification.
Okay, unique tax identification number is a unique identity of taxpayers. Okay, for individual, you search it by name, that's the business name. Then for corporate, is you use CSU registration number to identify taxpayers.
A tax ID is a number given to a taxpayer in order to be recognized by the government for the purpose of transactions and other tax purposes.
Tax identification number is a unique identifier used by government. If I said government, I mean the FRS, the FCTIRS, to track individual or corporate tax obligation and payment.
What is tax ID?
Tax ID is a number used to identify eligible taxpayers or taxable persons or companies in the country, particularly in Nigeria with the new tax reforms.
Baba, wetin you understand be tax ID?
Na the number when people used to pay tax for the government.
You get NIN?
I get NIN.
Okay. What is tax ID?
Taxpayer identification number. It's a unique number for every taxpayer, individual or corporate. Everybody should have it. It's a citizen's right for tax purposes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you know your NIN for individuals and CACRC number for companies will serve as your tax ID? For more information, please visit www.firs.gov.ng.
Ashu Abe takes us on the Knowledge Zone.
Hello and welcome to Knowledge Zone, where we dive deeper into interesting conversations had on the streets. I remain your host, Ashu Abe. On today's episode, we'll be talking about the new Tax Act and the Tax ID. The Nigerian Tax Administration Act, NTAA, mandates the use of the tax identification number, tax ID, for certain transactions. Section 4 of the NTAA requires all taxable persons to register with the tax authority and obtain a tax ID. A taxable person is someone who carries on trade, business, or other economic activity to earn income. Banks and other financial institutions are required to request a tax ID from taxable persons. Individuals who do not earn income are not taxable persons and are not required to obtain a tax ID. This policy is not new. It has been in place since the Finance Act of 2019, which amended Section 49 of the Personal Income Tax Act. Since January 2020, individuals opening a business account have been required to provide a tax identification number TIN. The NTAA only strengthens and harmonizes this requirement. Tax ID is a term that unifies the different TINs issued by the Federal Inland Revenue Service, the Joint Tax Board, and the State Inland Revenue Service. Ultimately, your NIN for individuals and CACRC number for companies will serve as your tax ID, reducing duplication and simplifying compliance. Over to you, Lore.
And now to our Professional Insight segment.
My name is Kazim Kayode Lawal, and I'm the head of audits, Lagos Mainland West Medium Tax Audit. At the Lagos Mainland West Medium Tax Audit, we are charged with the audit of medium-sized companies. And as the head, I oversee the coordination, planning, and supervision of audit programs and audit staff. Okay, so the medium tax audit is one of the key operational units of the Federal Inland Revenue Service. We are responsible for carrying out audit on medium-sized companies. We try to ensure compliance, and then beyond that, we also carry out educative roles, trying to help taxpayers to understand their responsibilities within the tax system. But majorly, primarily, our role is to ensure compliance by carrying out tax audit to verify the books and records of medium-sized companies. Okay, so the FRS policy on tax audit is anchored on fairness, transparency, and professionalism. The objective of audit is not punitive, but it's corrective. Our role is to ensure that accurate declarations are made and that correct amount of taxes are paid. Like you already know, tax audits in FRS is risk-based. So that means that taxpayers are selected for audits based on certain parameters. It's based on certain risk indicators and data analytics. Okay, so my office has fully embraced the digital transformation of agenda of the Federal Inland Revenue Service. All our audit functions are now carried out through the Tax Pro Max, which gives us real-time access to taxpayers' records. And then we also use some data analytics techniques and tools to carry out data analysis and also for document management. And of course, this has really improved the efficiency of our audit. It has improved our audit turnaround time, and of course, it has reflected in the audit yield as well. Okay, so I was deployed to the medium tax audit office in October last year, so it's exactly 1 year. And within the space of this 1 year, we have seen significant improvements in audit turnaround time. We now conclude most of our audit cases in far less time than the audit cycle. We have also seen significant improvements in audit recoveries. The yields from our audit assessments have really increased. And last year alone, we did over 107% of our targets. And we have also seen significant improvement in our staff capacity building. So overall, we have built a culture of teamwork and cooperative tax audit environment. So majorly for us, it's incomplete or inadequate records from taxpayers and uncooperative nature of some taxpayers, and this has really prolonged our audit cycle. And of course, it also has negative impacts on the job we do. Beyond this, there is also the challenge or the need for staff to keep upskilling so as to be abreast with changes in the business world. So these are the major challenges, but we are collaborating with other functions within the service. We are getting data from the tax data mining department, and we are also encouraging our staff to keep developing themselves so that we can be on top of our game.
Over to Swateku for What's on the Net.
Good day and welcome to What's on the Net. My name is Joyce Swateku. At Folabeji is asking, thanks for all you do. However, most of the recently registered and activated TINs are not yet synchronized with single trade window. These companies could not do their business seamlessly. Their operations are being disrupted. At Folabeji, a tax identification number may fail to appear at a trade portal if the email used on the portal is different from the one on the taxpayer's detail page on Tax Pro Max, or if the company has not been activated with a commencement date. The Federal Inland Revenue Service advises anyone with such issues to visit the nearest tax office to update their records and become active on the trade portal. At Lago is asking, please, I want to lay a complaint about the FIRS payment gateway. Payment is not going through at all for the 100 million share capital. Please, I need urgent solution. Thanks. At Lago, this is a Corporate Affairs Commission related issue. If at all the payment gateway is not going through, it might be due to technical issues from the receiving bank, the payment gateway, or the CAC platform. Kindly visit CAC Customer Care Center for further resolution and assistance. Over to you, Laurie.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Tax File. I hope you've gained new insights and a better understanding of today's tax matters. The conversation doesn't end here. Join us on social media to share your thoughts and questions. We are always here to keep you informed and engaged. Until next time, I am Laurie Bala Hassan. Stay compliant, keep watching Tax File. FIRS, simplifying tax, maximizing revenue.